group that we belong to, our metal detecting club, is Southern New England Relic Hunters. Southern New England Relic Hunters started roughly about 4 years ago. I started it here down in this area of Connecticut. There's more clubs throughout Connecticut, but there weren't any down here. I decided to start the club, not knowing how big it would get. And in 4 years, we're up to 90 members in 4 different states. We have members from Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and New Hampshire. With that being said, 2 of the members here, 2 of our probably seasoned members are Patrick Silver Hill. Okay, that's his nickname, Silver Hill, because he's always finding silver. Patrick is the vice president of the club, and Lynn Merritt is our oracle of the club. She is one of the originals that came from another former club that came over to our club when that club more or less kind of disbanded. So, like you all, myself, Patrick, Lynn, we all love history. On top of loving history, we love metal detecting. So we took the 2 best things, at least in my opinion, took the 2 best things we could. We took metal detecting and history, put it together, and we decided to start this club with the purpose of saving history. Now, just a little bit about myself. I've been a police officer for 36 years. I've retired twice already. And everybody says to me, why haven't you moved down south? Honestly, I cannot give up New England for metal detecting. I can't. I just cannot. I can't. I do not like the cold. I don't like the snow. I don't like anything about winter. So I really should be down south. But where we live at, as you all know, is just rich with history. You're not going to get the colonial stuff, the Revolutionary War stuff, the Civil War stuff like you do here. Okay? And everything I just mentioned, Revolutionary War, Civil War, colonial, pre-colonial, is all up here. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is probably, what would you guys say, maybe 1/10 of what the 3 of us have found? Not even. Okay? I have a whole room dedicated to finds. And I've only been seriously metal detecting for maybe 6 years. I know a lot of you have come here, and I'll bet you, well, let me start this PowerPoint presentation, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over metal detecting, why we metal detect. How many people here want to get into metal detecting? How many? Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 of you, 7 of you. Okay. First of all, thanks to TV, okay, metal detecting starting to take a spike. All right, because metal detecting years ago, before all these shows came out, if I mentioned metal detecting, everybody thought of the older person with socks on, with flip-flops, with their bathing suit pulled up halfway up their chest, out on the beach, metal detecting. When myself, Patrick, and Lynn probably do the least amount of beach detecting. We're into history. Okay? So with that being said, usually what I do is I used to teach for New London Adult Ed, I used to teach metal detecting introduction basics. And the reason why I did, and I've already had a couple of people here that have said it already, I have a metal detector, but I don't even know what to do with it. I don't know how to turn it on, or all I find is bottle caps and nails. Welcome to metal detecting, okay? Because if it was that easy, and if everybody went out every time, found silver and gold, everybody would be doing it, and we'd all be rich, right? So I always joke, and Patrick, because I go out with Patrick quite often, that we should be getting an award from the EPA for the amount of garbage that we take out of Mother Earth every time we go metal detecting, okay? So with that being said, we are, like I said, we're 90 members in over 4 states. We have monthly meetings at Philomena's Restaurant in Waterford, Connecticut, okay? Every 3rd Tuesday at 6:30, we meet. Usually now out of the 90 members, I'd say anywhere between 25, 28 of us will meet. Quite a few people come from Massachusetts. religiously just for these meetings. And what we do at the meetings is we have contests and so forth, bring our finds and show what we found and give little stories about it. If anybody's interested in coming and checking out a meeting, I tell everybody the first meeting's always free. Come and check it out. But I'll be honest with you, I don't even think, well, I can't even say McDonald's anymore because you can't get a deal at McDonald's. There's not a better deal in southeastern Connecticut, I think of, than joining the club that we are part of, because for $50 for the year, you get 12 sit-down meals, raffles, and prizes. So I think that's why I'm up to 90 members. But I'm probably out a couple $1,000s each year myself, but I do it because of the passion. So if anybody's interested, like I said, third Tuesday of the month, 6:30 at Philomena's, please feel free to show up. You don't have to bring anything. Don't bring your metal detector. None of us do. Don't bring any, well, if you want to bring fines, you can. I know somebody up here had said they found something, they weren't sure what it is. If you're not sure, bring it into the meeting. We love that stuff. We'll go in and check it out for you. So why do we want to metal detect? I tell everybody this. It's a, what would you guys say it is? It's a thrill. It's a rush. It's a addiction. It really is. I mean, I can't, if I'm not working or if I'm not at the gym with Patrick, I am metal detecting. And when we go metal detecting, Lynn as well, we go out for 8 to 10 hours a day. It's not just a couple of hours. Thank God I have the wife I have, but I think she also likes to get rid of me for the fact that I go out. But I go out 8 to 10 hours a day almost every Saturday and Sunday. We will go out in the winter. We will go out in the snow. We don't care. We will go out as much as we can. So remember, if anybody has any questions throughout this, please ask questions. Okay, this is for you. This is metal detecting 101. Spend thousands of dollars on equipment and make about $1.66 a day. Okay, everybody says the first thing when I show people this, when people come up here, the first thing they say, wow, what's this worth? Don't know. I don't look it up. I don't care. I've never sold anything that I've ever found. I'm not into it for the money. Patrick, have you ever sold anything? Lynn? No. So there's 3 people with probably over 25, 30 years of experience that have never sold anything we found. We do it for the passion. And thousands of money on equipment is true. That metal detector right there is $1,500 just for the metal detector. All right, I always like to ask this. When we're out metal detecting, or I'll speak for myself, Lynn and Patrick might have different. When I'm out metal detecting, you know what question I get asked the most? I'll give you the answer. No, I don't watch The Curse of Oak Island. I have no intention of watching The Curse of Oak Island. I get that all the time. People walk up, wow, that's awesome. Do you watch The Curse of Oak Island? No, I don't watch it. You watch it? Lynn? Never seen an episode. So again, never seen an episode. Metal detectors, I don't have to get into this, but basically if it's metal in the ground, any kind of metal, it will pick it up. That's why you find nails. That's why you find bottle caps. That's why you find pull tabs. Pull tabs and nickels are the exact same number. Don't ask me why. I don't know. But they will ring up the same. Okay? So if you're not bringing up, I would say probably 15 to 20 pieces of garbage for every one good find, you're not doing it right. Okay? So buy the best detector you can afford. Don't go out and buy a $1,500 metal detector, folks, please, if you plan on buying one. You can get a decent one. A Noctra Simplex is about $300, and it does a very good job. Okay? Very good job. Start in your own backyard. Expect to find trash. Dig everything. Dig in, dig in, dig in. If you want a hobby that you exercise, but you have fun, you don't realize how much you exercise until the next morning, do metal detecting. Because you are going to walk a lot, and you are going to dig a lot of holes. Patrick, what do you walk when you go into the woods? What do you walk miles-wise, average?
Sometimes.
So 18,000 steps. So that's about 9 miles. in the woods. That's not walking on a track. That's in the woods when we go out in the woods. Now, just on a quick side note, woods metal detecting has almost come to a nil. Does anybody know why? The ticks are out of control this year. So please, if you are going to metal detect, I don't care if you're going in your backyard, please put on some kind of tick protection. The ticks are out of control. I've never seen, like us, we do research. We look at LiDAR. We look where old cellar holes were, old homesteads. That's what we do to go out. And we'll walk miles in the woods to go find them, just to find that colonial stuff. We're not doing it right now because the ticks are so bad. You know, I live in London. I was in my backyard. I came in last night and I had a tick on me. And I said, really? In London? Well, this is unacceptable. But this is big for anybody that wants to start metal detecting. All property is owned by somebody. There is no property out there that's just free. Okay? Please don't trespass. That's one thing with our group. Okay, we have rules. We have, when we do metal detecting, we do a lot of old houses. We do a lot of people's yards. And I treat their yard like I treat my yard. We don't dig holes and leave them all open or anything like that. Now, are there metal detectors that do it? Yes. But if they're in our club and we find out, you're gone. Okay, we're not here to destroy property. Okay. Metal detecting in Connecticut, if you look that up online, there are actually certain spots that you cannot metal detect. If you get caught metal detecting, you're going to get arrested. Okay? But Fort Griswold, Fort Trumbull, I think the Dinosaur Park, there's a whole bunch. You'll see them down there. Those cannot, Gillette Castle. You cannot metal detect those because of historic reasons. Because let me tell you something, if I could find a way to detect Fort Trumbull, I would, because that's got to be loaded, as well as Fort Griswold. But out of respect for historic reasons, we don't do it. If there are historic places, now we have worked with historical societies before, part of the club. We've worked with both the Groton Historical Society, we did the Avery Cop House out there on, and we found all kinds of stuff that we gave them for their displays and museum. And it's funny because of everything we found, and I didn't find like the really good stuff, at least I didn't think so. I found the dog's license from the family dog and coins from the 1800s, 1700s. They were more fascinated by that dog tag than they were anything because that was significant to the house. People love to see that. So when we do old houses, and Patrick and Lynn will tell you, if we do old houses, if we find anything that is connected to the house or the family, we automatically give it to them. We give it to them. Hey, it's yours. Do what you want with it. Patrick, you did a house in East Hampton, right? Or where did we do it? And what was that house? The guy, you found the owner's name tag, and he was like the third owner of the house coming off the Mayflower. Here, let me give it to Patrick.
We've been working with the Hampton Historical Society, and it was not, I forget the guy's name, but it was 2 houses down from the original guy who owned all the land. He came over, she said, on the 3rd trip of the Mayflower, and it was, I believe, I don't think he was related to the family, but he was the 3rd owner of the house, and it was a luggage tag, and it had his name on it. And the owner, we showed it to him, we're like, hey, do you know this name? And he's like, oh, hold on. And he comes out with a big poster board that he created, and he had all of the owners in order, labeled by year of when they lived in the house. And sure enough, the 3rd one down was that owner of the house. So we made up nice displays for him. We gave it to him. And I know he gave one of the displays, or maybe 2 of them, to the Historical Society. But we told him, we're like, keep this one with the house because it has one of the original owners in it, basically.
Yeah, so that was... we love doing that. I can't tell you how many times we found something really neat and we give it to the owner. Okay, because again, we're not in it for the money. And if for some reason, I take it, all it's going to do is sit in my room and maybe come out to the public library occasionally and get put out on display. So if somebody who's proud of something for their house or something like that can put it up. On top of the relics, what we also do, and some of you might see it on Facebook recently or social media, we do a lot of ring recoveries. Rings, like rings for people, meaning if somebody is, and we get these quite a bit in the fall, actually we get them in the summer too during the beach, people that lose their rings. We will go as a club and we will do it for free. We will go and find the ring or the earring, whatever you've lost. We found property markers for people that are in property disputes. We do that all for free. Because again, that's just something that we love to do. We love to give back to the community. we had a group hunt. Now what a group hunt is we get a bunch of members. I think we have like 35, 40 that show up. And we went out and we did the North Stonington Fairgrounds. While we were there, one of the members found a ring. He brought it up to me, and it was a 1974 Wheeler High School class ring. So luckily, and this is what I tell everybody, if you have any rings that are sentimental to you or anything, please put your names in it, your initial, whatever you can. So if we do find it, we will get it back to you. Trust me, we will get it back to you. So this gentleman had his name inscribed on it. The next day I called Wheeler High School. The secretary was actually very funny. She said, I said, hey, I said, this is going to sound weird. I said, I'm the president of a club. We found a ring from 1974. Here's the guy's name. Is there anything you can tell me? And she's like, oh, this is like MacGyver. She goes, hold on, let me go find some stuff. And she went out and she gave me everything they had on him for his last known. But of course, people move since 1974. So luckily, I had a little daughter at the time. She's not little now, but she was maybe 14. And she says, Dad, give me his name. I'll look it up on social media. I can find it. And I'll be damned, within like 5 minutes, she had his phone number. Called him up in Florida. He did not answer because I'm sure he didn't recognize the number. I left a message. He called me back. He said, did I just hear you say you found my ring, my class ring? And I said, yeah. He goes, you know, my girlfriend lost that in 1974, my senior year of high school. And he says, where did you find it? I said, the North Stonington Fairgrounds. He said, well, that's interesting because my girlfriend was showing horses. And she had it on around her neck. And for those of you that are older, you know, when you're going steady, you put the ring around the neck. It must have fallen off. The horse must have stepped on it, or a horse. Luckily, the ground is soft where horses are. Pushed it down, did not do any damage to this ring whatsoever. This ring looked like, matter of fact, we threw it through the jewelry cleaner, and it looked like it was brand new again. We paid for the shipping. We sent it down to him. He put it on his finger, 50 years later, and it still fit him. But that's what we do. That's what we do. So that's you know, whatever we can do, whenever we find rings, whenever we can find anything that has an owner, we give it back to them. Okay? So metal detecting has a code of ethics, right? Again, we talk about the rules. We talk about what we do, respect private property, bring in whatever you bring out, leave gate structures, personal property as they were before. That's big. When we do farms, farmers get mad when you leave the gates open. Okay? There's a reason why there's fences and gates. So we've learned over the time to make sure you put the gates back, because a couple of times, and Patrick and Lynn will tell you, we've done farms and there's a bull. And he's separated from the cows. And so there's a reason why there's a gate and so forth and so on. But people will always ask questions when you're metal detecting. People are fascinated about metal detecting. Me, Patrick, Lynn, quite a few of the other members, I am telling you. And I don't mean to just say this because I try to say that we have the best group of people in metal detecting, which we do. We will give you all of our time necessary to explain about the hobby. If you stop us and say, hey, what are you doing? We love that. We actually do. We enjoy showing it. So YouTube channels for anybody that wants to get into metal detecting, watch YouTube channels. There's a lot of YouTubers out there that will show you what they're doing, show you what they find. The top ones I recommend are the first two up top, which is Quarter Hoarders and Hoover Boys. Both of them are very good. They both live down in Virginia, Pennsylvania area. So not only are they in Colonial, but they are in ground zero of Colonial stuff. So they are both very good, very entertaining to watch. You can really learn a lot on about your metal detector, okay? Cleaning finds, okay? You can clean, and we're going to let everybody can come up here and see all of this and ask all the questions they want about everything that's up here. If you find coins, people always ask how to clean them. It's pretty simple. If it's silver, clean it as much as you want with soap and water. You know, silver coins will come out looking like the day they did out of the mint if they're not worn down. Copper coins, do not put water on them. You will ruin them. Okay? Let them dry out, take a toothpick and rub them, and you'd be surprised how clear they come out. Most of the coins we find are from the 16 and 1700s. They're copper coins, most of them, and that's what we do. We'll find it, and it kills us because we'll be like, what'd you find? I don't know. I'm going to put it in my pocket, let it dry. And we got to wait like an hour and then take the dry dirt off, okay, to see what it is. Those are all out there. If you're into metal detecting, you can find them. All right. I always show this just because everybody always thinks this is what we find all the time. Okay. We don't. However, there are members that have found. I don't know if I can get it to play. If not, it's no big deal. Let me see. Nope. All right. Well, I don't know how to get it to play, but what it is it's one of the Hoover Boys, as they call themselves. He's out. He's been metal detecting for years. He gets a signal. He digs down, and it's a $5 gold coin. Does anybody know? Now, I say I don't sell my finds. Now, what's gold? $5,000 an ounce, I think, roughly. That coin all day was probably worth, just in itself in gold, was worth well over $5,000. Just the historical value made it probably worth $10,000 to $15,000, a gold coin. So they are out there. I did hear of somebody finding one in New London. This was way before I started. So again, where you live, you know, you can't ask for anything better. So if you're into metal detecting, if you want to get into metal detecting, if you're not sure, please come see us at one of the meetings. We died. No, there it is. That's the name of the club, Southern New England Relic Hunters. We have a public page. You can go check it out. We put a lot of our finds in there. Does anybody have any questions about anything I talked about yet? Does anybody want to go in a direction? Hey, show me how to do this. Go ahead, ma'am. That's a good question. So my favorite find, and people, so I'm kind of glad you brought that up because a lot of people love jewelry and love, especially my wife and my daughter. When my wife goes out with me, which she does maybe twice a year, she wants to go to the beach because she wants to find jewelry. I don't really care about jewelry. Probably my most favorite find, I would say I have I found coins from the 1600s, but they're not as nice as I have a Spanish silver coin from 1721, from right around the end of the pirate era, that I found. We have pirate era silver up here. So that's probably my favorite, only because the coin is so ornate and it's really a nice design. And the fact that, you know, it's Spanish and here it was up here in Connecticut. But as you know, we didn't have a banking system for the longest time. So we used everybody's money. You know, I remember the first time I found a Connecticut coin. It's called a Connecticut copper, 1787. And I posted it and said, you know, it's a picture of King George. And they said, well, that doesn't make sense. King George, they hated the British. Why would they put King George's face on it? Well, they did it because they wanted to snub their nose to King George and the British. So that's why they did it. But I will let Patrick talk. He's got a nice pirate coin story? You're going to talk about your pirate coin? Yeah, he's got a documented, like officially, I don't know, documented in Pirate Treasure Registry coin that he found. And then we're going to let Lynn talk for a little bit. And then after that, does anybody else have any questions before we start? And please, at any time, if you have any questions, raise your hand. We're more and then we'll bring you up here. We'll show you everything that we have. Let me just, before I give it over to Patrick, because I'm going to forget, equipment. If you're going to start metal detecting, you're going to need, go ahead, sir. Because of the last couple of years, never, because it's not gotten cold enough really to kill them off. Now, I'm glad you brought it up because that's actually really important, and I want everybody, if you can, there's a plemethrin. Plemethrin is sold. They actually sell it in Walmart, or you can get it on Amazon. It's a yellow tube. I see the gentleman shaking his head. That stuff, in my opinion, works like gold. You do not put it on your skin. It goes on your clothes. You spray your clothes, you let them dry overnight, and then that will repel ticks for up to 5 or 6 washings, okay? However, they can still get on your skin, okay? As much as tick protection I take, I've already been bit 6 times this year. Luckily, I haven't contracted anything, but it's just inevitable. There's nothing you can do. So yeah, it's very hard to say when. Obviously, if it's a cold winter, it's great to go out in the woods because the ticks aren't around. And people say, well, what do you mean? If it's so cold, then you're not getting through the ground. The ground in the woods does not freeze. Because of the amount of leaves that are there, it actually makes a almost like insulation, yeah, to the ground. So we'll go out. I mean, there can be 2-3 inches of snow on the ground. We'll still go out. Obviously, if there's 6 to 8 inches, then we might have a hard time. But I mean, we'll go out and but ticks are, and we had a member actually, Tony, who was going to come. Tony he contracted that babiosa or something like that, and he like ended up almost in ICU. Like they weren't sure like what direction he was going to go. And now you got this Lone Star tech. Holy cow! Allergic to meat? You might as well just. That's it for me. I don't know what I would do. I mean, I love my hamburgers and steak. So, but yeah. So equipment wise, you have to have a detector. So you're talking roughly $300-400. A shovel is going to cost you roughly $70. There's a sand scoop up here. You don't have to spend this kind of money. But when you have a sand scoop that has a handle like this, I literally, when I do the beach, you don't have to bend over at all. Because whatever you find, you scoop right up and then you shake it and you take it right out of the middle of the basket. This scoop right here, just the scoop is about $175. And that's because it's stainless steel, even though you can see it's still rusting. That's been in the ocean probably 100 times. You got to have a pouch. So when all is said and done, you're probably looking at roughly $500-600. Now, will you ever get that money back? Probably not. But in my opinion, it's the greatest. For those of you that like to be surprised, you can't ask for a better hobby than metal detecting. Because I can't tell you how many times I go somewhere and I don't think I'm going to find anything and I find something amazing. Or I find something I don't even know what it is and I look it up and I find out. I went out metal detecting at a spot where Lafayette was known to have visited in 1798. And lo and behold, I found a French coin from 1798 there. Now, is it Lafayette's? Probably not. Is it somebody from his entourage? Probably. But just the historical significance of it, I'm still trying to find a coin that says Benedict Arnold on the back, but I don't think I'll find that. But with that being said, let me turn it over to Patrick, and after that, we'll let you all, we'll go to Lynn, and then we'll let you all come up here, check out. There's some amazing stuff up here. Okay, so Pat,
Hello, Patrick Hill. I've been metal detecting, well, I just hit 5 years this past fall. And during my second year metal detecting, I found what a lot of people say is a once in a lifetime kind of a find. At first, I had no idea what it was. I was out with my friend Steph. We were out in a cornfield in like eastern Connecticut, central Connecticut, somewhere in there. And I'm like, hey, I think I found like some kind of silver like cuff button or something. It was weird. It was a little bit broken. I thought it was maybe a cuff link because it was a little oval shape. So I bring it over to her and we start spraying it off because it was silver. We didn't want to scratch it with our fingers. So we spray it off and her jaw just dropped. I'm like, what? What did I find? She's like, are you kidding me? With a few other swears in there. And I'm like, just tell me what it is. And she's like, you found a pirate coin. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, Google it right now. Google Rhode Island pirate coins found. So I go on, and there's this guy in Rhode Island, Jim Bailey, and he had found a bunch of these hammered Arabic silver coins from the late 1600s. So I'm freaking out because I'm like, this looks just like those. So I get home, I clean it up, I send this guy pictures. And he's like, yeah, I believe you have one. Let me send some pictures to my expert in California, and I'll get back to you. I'm like, okay. So I'm doing some research on it, and it happened, it was in 1695. Captain Henry Avery and his crew took over a ship with 600 people on it. They tortured and killed all 600 of them, took all the treasure, and fled. And it was speculation that a lot of them started settling in the colonies. So I got pictures back. He confirmed the date of that coin was between, of course, the part that was broken off was the date of the coin, but based on everything else that was on it, I got a date range. And he said it was between 1683 and 1693, which falls in line with every other coin that he's found and other people have been found because he's been documenting them. Anyone who posts them online, he's reaching out to them, or people are like, hey, reach out to this guy. And I have specimen number 23 or 24, I forget. I think it's specimen number 23 and the third found in Connecticut, which is crazy. I did not bring that today. That's locked up safe. Some people have said he's doing a documentary on it for Discovery Channel. I don't know how true that is. I do believe he's making a book on it, so I want to reach out to him again just to see if he needs any other better pictures or anything like that. But it's incredible. I never would have thought that in a million years I'd find a legitimate coin that's tied to an actual pirate, like a real pirate treasure. It's crazy. So along with that, this was probably one of my favorite finds. This is maybe my second favorite find. It is a George Washington inaugural button. And there's several different varieties of them. I want to say 12, but don't quote me on it. And my particular variety is called the Linked States variety. So in the middle, and I brought a book with me that has pictures of all the varieties or several of them. But in the middle of the button, it's I'd say about this big. And it has a script letter GW in the very center, and then around that it says "Long live the president," and then in the whole outer rim of the button it says it has 13 chain links with the initials of the first 13 colonies. It's crazy. And I found that out in the woods. It was in the winter time. It was very shallow. I got a very loud, shallow signal. I thought it was going to be a shell casing, so I popped it out. It was in a chunk of frozen dirt. And I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, I need to see what it is. So I took this and I put it on a rock and I took my big shovel and I gave it a good whack. Thank God that I filmed it afterwards because I could see, let's say the chunk is this top left corner is where I hit it with the impact and it was way over here on the edge, but it had cracked it from that corner all the way down. So I popped off this piece. And I could see the 13 chain links along the edge, and I lost it. My buddy Matt was with me. We flipped out. I brought it home, let it melt out because I wasn't going to try to break it out of this clump. And it does have a slight bend in it, which is why I'm like, let me go look at this video. I don't think I bent it because it was way on the other side. At least that's what I tell myself. So like George, I don't sell my finds, but I wanted to get it restored like perfectly flat. So I reached out to this guy. He's an expert restoration guy. Like he works magic. So we did like a FaceTime for probably an hour talking about like the possibilities. It could get damaged, this and that. And he's like, dude, I'm telling you right now, if it was my button, I would not touch it. I wouldn't risk it. It's beautiful. The detail is phenomenal on it. He said all day long, people would line up to pay you $5,000 for that one button. And I'm like, holy smokes, but I'll never sell it. It's in my safe right now, and I'll make sure my daughter knows never to sell that thing unless she really needs to. But if I'm gone, she can do what she wants with it, you know? But I would say my favorite find of all time, and it's not even a historic find, but it's more of a sentimental find. So my coworker's husband had passed away this past Good Friday. And I went to her house the day before the service, and I was helping her out with some stuff. And she was showing me around the backyard, a couple of things that she needed some help with, like down the road. And I'm like, hey, remember you told me like last year or the year before, 10 years ago, your husband was throwing brush over the fence and he lost his wedding ring? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm going to go grab my machine and go look for it. So I went out, I got my machine. No more than 2 minutes after I started looking for it, I got a signal, and I said, listen, don't get excited, but this sounds good. I had no other signals. It was in like a swamp area. Thankfully, there was no other signals. I dug it up, and boom, it was his ring. She got emotional. I started getting emotional, but she was like, couldn't have been more happy that I found it, and she still wears it to this day. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but you get my drift. I like doing stuff like that, finding stuff for people. Like a few weeks ago, I found a hearing aid for somebody. They reached out to me. They said, hey, I got your number from so-and-so. And I'm like, I have no idea who this guy is. But so I get to their house, and it turns out it was this guy. I had knocked on his door. He gave me permission to do his farm. I had given him my phone number. I believe he was in the Historical Society for Lisbon. And he gave them my phone number. I went, found the hearing aid for him. Another thing, just last week, a coworker reached out, and her nephew lost this pendant off of his chain while like wrestling in the grass. That pendant belonged to his great-grandmother. It wasn't silver, it wasn't gold, it was just regular pendant, but it meant a lot to him. And I went out, before we went out hunting, I said, George, I'm gonna go a little early, see if I can find it. And I ended up finding it for him, which led to hopefully another permission down the road, because people will offer us money. Now, some people do take money, and that's fine. But I personally, I just enjoy finding it and just seeing their reactions and making somebody else happy. So I always tell people, and George, I know, tells the same thing, and I kind of stole this line from him. I'm like, no, like I don't want any money from you, but if you know anybody with an old house that I can metal detect on, please reach out to me. And we've gotten permissions doing that. So it's all good karma, you know, it all comes back around. Yeah.
And now Lynn is the one who set this whole thing up.
And we thank Anne for that too. I'm Lynn Merritt, and I have metal detected for many, many years. Many times, though, I was a beach hunter, and I know these guys like going in the woods, but you can go out to the beach and find a lot of things. I brought my ring trays, and most of these, the large majority of these, were found at the beach. Using a scoop and the metal detector. You can also go there in the wintertime because it's not frozen down by where the water is. So you can still do a lot of detecting year round at the beach, and no chance or low chance of ticks. So I also like metal detecting at the beach. I also like jewelry. These guys, I don't like jewelry. I like jewelry. So it's kind of fun that way. Metal detecting is a very fun hobby. You get hooked and you have a good time. I'd also say that you don't need a lot of money to buy a metal detector. I found my first gold ring with a $250 detector. So, hey, that's great. I love dirt digging too, and I do go on trips to England to find older things than here in America. So that's kind of fun to go over there and do that. One thing I'd like to say, what Patrick said, is that if you know anybody that has old property, or if you do, contact George, and maybe the group can come out and have a good time there too. We're really nice people in the group, and we do follow all the rules. Thank you for coming.
And Lynn is also, just so you know, mudlarking. She's one of the few that actually still has a mudlarking license in England to do mudlarking. For those of you that don't know mudlarking, she does it in the Thames River over in England. And you should see the stuff that she brings back every year. Clay pipes, buttons, whatever have you, that people, when they were done, would just throw into the river. So they don't give them out anymore to foreigners. Yeah. So she's grandfathered in. So he goes every year, her and her friend. All right. With that being said, does anybody have, because we want to keep this to an hour roughly in? Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have anything that they want to know? Go ahead. No. So I'm actually glad you brought that up. We want the younger generation to be involved in this, okay? Only because, because I have kids, I want them outdoors, anything other than video games, I would love to have them do. B, things aren't going to always be around forever. I mean, there's a lot of stuff getting renovated, paved over, silver and copper coins. We kind of got the run of the mill of it now. There's always going to be, but there's not always going to be that. So the quicker we can get them into it, them going, because what's happening is the coins of today, they're just clad coins. They don't have any silver. They don't have any value outside of what they really are. Pennies, the new pennies, the zinc pennies they had, I tell everybody, go bury a zinc penny. Go out a year later and look at it. The thing looks like Pac-Man. Half of it's deteriorated. It literally gets eaten away by the soil. So, yeah, it's going to be around, but I don't know how long it's going to be around. And so please, if you know anybody, we encourage teenagers. Actually, a couple of months ago, I had an extra detector. I decided as the club that we would give it away. I just needed a teenager. I said, hey, if you're between 13 and 17, give me a quick paragraph why you like history. I'll give you a free membership and you get a free detector. I did that and I got one person that responded. So you got the free detector and you got the free membership. But anything we can to get the younger generation in. They sell detectors for kids that are even younger than teenagers. They literally just beep. And now they're good detectors. They're not like your old Radio Shack, that would beep if you got near anything metal. They actually make ones. They're like $150, but they're really short, and they're called Go Finds, and it literally you turn it on and it beeps. So what we did for many years, we didn't do it this past year because of just scheduling. At the Brooklyn Fair, we have a booth that we do every year, and we have a sand pit outside, and it has sand in it. This was started by the previous club, Awesome Relics New England, and we take coins and we bury them in the sand. And as kids come by, it's free. We let them metal detect, and whatever they find, they get to keep. And every year we are told it's probably one of the biggest hits of the Brooklyn Fair, A, because it's free, and B, because the kids love finding stuff. We throw some silver coins in there. We throw some old buttons. So we throw some pretty neat clone. Now, you might also get a zinger and get a 1986 Roosevelt dime, but that's just the way it is, but you get to keep the dime. So, yes, we encourage the younger generation to participate. We just had a member just join. He's 20 years old. We gave him a metal detector to start with. And that shows you how this group is. I gave him a metal detector. Somebody else gave him a set of headphones. Somebody else gave him a shovel. By the time he was done with the meeting, he had the whole kit and caboodle and didn't have to spend a dime, because we all have extra stuff that we want to use. So, yeah, any age really, but teenagers especially, that'd be great. So if you have any teenagers, bring them to the meeting. Does anybody else have any questions? Anybody want to know anything? No? All right. So up here on the tables, there is everything you can think of up here. There are silver coins. There are copper coins. There are police badges. There are Crotal bells. For those of you that don't know what a Crotal bell is, that's a fancy name of that song that you hear, Jingle Bells. Okay? These are actually bells that are probably maybe 150 to 200 years old, some of them. And they had them on horses, and what they were for is to let the other riders know that they were coming. That's why they jingled. But it's nothing's neater than to dig up something like this that is packed with dirt. Take it, let it dry out, clean it all out, and then the one thing we're always waiting for the jingle, because sometimes, whatever reason, whatever the soil is, it eats away the inside bell. But to be able to clean it out and then ring it, 150 years later. There's colonial shoe buckles up here. There's all kinds of buttons. We have, Patrick has up here. I don't have my glasses. So you got to tell me what that is.
So that's a 41st Regiment. This is a French Revolutionary War soldiers button. This I found in Connecticut, not quite on the route that they took through, but not too far off. And they went all the way down, and they played a critical role in the siege of Yorktown. And it's funny enough, I know this guy. I've met him a couple times in person, but we communicate through social media, and he actually got special permission to hunt at a site in Yorktown, and he found one of these as well. I think he found a smaller size button, which was pretty cool. So there's a lot of stuff up here. I opened the book up to that George Washington button, so you guys can take a look at that.
Yeah, and so please come on up, check it out. If you have any questions, we'll be up here. If something is out but it's not in a case, feel free to handle it. I don't mind handling it up here. I have 3 buttons. One's Light Artillery, 1st Regiment from the War of 1812. One of them is from the Queen's Cameron Highlanders. I could be saying that backwards, or Highlanders Cameron, I don't know. But it's the Queen's own personal guards. One of their buttons. A Civil War, New York militia button from the Civil War. Spanish silver, and so forth and so on. So please come on up, check out the finds. Any questions you have, anything you want to see. Yeah, sure. Go ahead and take pictures. And real quick, I just want to show you. So here's a detector. For those of you that have detectors, what is missing here? Can anybody see anything missing? Nope. Where's the wires? This is all wireless. So technically, this little head right here, I could take this head off and walk around with it with just this coil and metal detector. So that shows you how advanced now stuff is starting to become. Someday I think we're going to be seeing ground penetrating radar be cost effective enough that we can start using it as well. So please come on up and check out whatever we have up here and see. And like I said, there's just a world of stuff